When I was 38, I started waking up at 3 a.m., heart pounding, anxiety humming in my chest. I thought, this can't be menopause, I'm too young. If you're in your late 30s or 40s and feeling off, this episode is for you. Today we're decoding the first subtle signs of perimenopause, so you can move from confusion to clarity. Millions of women are misdiagnosed with stress or depression, left feeling alone and broken. The truth? Perimenopause can start a decade before menopause, and its earliest signs are rarely hot flashes. They're emotional and neurological. The first major shift isn't a drop in estrogen, but in progesterone, your calming, sleep-supporting hormone. Let's name the 3 most common subtle signs that this shift is beginning. The first sign that something is shifting in your body? It's not always hot flashes or mood swings. For many women, it's the quiet, persistent interruption of sleep in the dead of night, a wake-up call that comes between 2 and 4 a.m., often with no warning. You might find yourself jolted awake, heart pounding, mind racing with thoughts you can't seem to quiet. It's as if your body is on high alert, even though the world outside is still and silent. While it's easy to blame stress or a busy mind, there's a deeper reason. This is often the result of declining progesterone, a hormone that acts as a natural sedative for your brain, helping you drift into deep, restorative sleep. When progesterone drops, your brain loses that calming influence, making it much harder to stay asleep through the night. With less progesterone in your system, your nervous system becomes more sensitive. Cortisol, the body's main stress hormone, tends to surge in the early morning hours. This spike is more intense when your hormonal balance is off, making you feel wired and restless at a time when you should be resting. That's why you might wake up suddenly, feeling wide awake, even though you desperately want to sleep. Your body is reacting to a hormonal shift, not just a stressful day. You might try all the classic sleep hygiene tricks: meditation, deep breathing, blackout curtains, herbal teas. While these can help you relax, they don't address the root cause if your hormones are in flux. The result? Poor sleep leads to even higher cortisol levels, which can leave you feeling anxious, fatigued, and mentally foggy the next day. It's a vicious cycle. The less you sleep, the more your stress hormones rise, and the harder it becomes to get the rest you need. Recognizing this pattern is crucial. This isn't just a random bad night's sleep. It's a classic early sign of perimenopause, a transition that can start years before your periods actually stop. Many women notice they fall asleep easily at first, only to be jolted awake in the early hours, unable to return to sleep. The timing, often around 3 a.m., isn't a coincidence. It's a clue from your body that your hormones are shifting. The effects don't end when the sun comes up. The loss of progesterone at night follows you into your day, making it harder to focus, remember things, or keep your energy up. You might find yourself snapping at loved ones or struggling to get through your usual routine. If you're suddenly a member of the 3 a.m. club, don't just blame your busy schedule or a restless mind. Your body is sending you a clear, physical signal that something deeper is happening. Understanding this shift is empowering. Instead of blaming yourself for not being able to just relax, you can start to see this as a message from your body, a call to pay attention and take action. This awareness opens the door to real solutions. You can look for ways to support your hormones through nutrition, lifestyle changes, or talking to a healthcare provider, instead of relying only on generic sleep tips that don't get to the root of the problem. Remember, this is not just in your head. The racing heart, the restless mind, the sudden wakefulness, these are textbook signs of early perimenopause, and they're more common than you might think. It's not about being weak or failing to cope. It's about a fundamental hormonal shift that affects millions of women, often silently and invisibly. The sleep cycle is often the first place these changes show up. Your body is trying to adapt, but the signals can be confusing and disruptive. So, if you're waking up at 3 a.m., night after night, don't ignore it. This is your body's way of telling you that your hormones are changing, and it's time to listen. Next, let's talk about how this hormonal shift doesn't just affect your sleep, but also your emotions, your resilience, and your sense of self. The lack of restorative sleep doesn't just leave you tired, it amplifies the emotional symptoms of perimenopause, making it even harder to cope with daily life. Recognizing this connection is the first step toward reclaiming your nights and your days. The second sign? Emotional volatility, what I call the incredible shrinking fuse. If you've noticed your patients wearing thinner than ever, you're not alone. Many women describe feeling like their tolerance for everyday annoyances has suddenly evaporated, leaving them on edge and quick to react. Suddenly, things you handled easily now feel overwhelming. Your patience is thin, anxiety and irritability spike. Even small mishaps, like a spilled cup of coffee or a child's tantrum, can feel like the last straw. You might find yourself snapping at loved ones or feeling inexplicably teary over minor frustrations. This isn't a personality change. It's the loss of progesterone, your body's natural anti-anxiety agent. Progesterone acts as a buffer, helping you stay calm and collected. When it starts to wane, your emotional landscape can shift dramatically, making you feel like a stranger to yourself. Progesterone's calming effect comes from its metabolite, allopregnanolone, which soothes your nervous system. This powerful neurosteroid interacts with receptors in your brain, promoting feelings of relaxation and emotional stability. When levels drop, your brain loses this natural calming influence. As levels drop, your stress buffer weakens, and your fight or flight response is more sensitive. Everyday stressors can suddenly feel like emergencies, and your body reacts accordingly. Heart racing, muscles tensing, and emotions running high. You might feel anxious in the grocery store or snap in traffic. Your body's ability to regulate stress is biochemically changed. Even environments that once felt routine can now trigger a sense of overwhelm or panic, making daily life feel unpredictable. This is most pronounced in the week or two before your period, when progesterone should peak but doesn't. Instead of feeling a sense of calm, you may notice your mood swinging more wildly, or that you're more sensitive to stress than ever before. That's why PMS can suddenly get worse in your late 30s and 40s. It's perimenopausal PMS. The symptoms aren't just in your head, they're rooted in real, measurable hormonal changes. You might notice more intense mood swings, irritability, or even physical symptoms like headaches and bloating. Symptoms can include heart palpitations, panic attacks, or intense irritability. Some women even report feeling a sense of dread or unease that seems to come out of nowhere, making it hard to relax or enjoy things they used to love. Often misdiagnosed as anxiety or depression, the root cause is hormonal. Many women are prescribed antidepressants or anti-anxiety medications, when what's really needed is an understanding of the hormonal shifts at play. Track your symptoms in relation to your cycle. If anxiety and irritability spike before your period, that's a huge clue. Keeping a journal or using a tracking app can help you spot patterns and advocate for yourself when talking to your healthcare provider. Estrogen becomes relatively dominant, revving up your brain while the brakes, progesterone, fail. This imbalance can make you feel wired, restless, or even hyperactive, as if your mind is racing and you can't slow down. This isn't your fault. It's not a moral failing, but a biological event. Your body is sending you signals, not because you're weak or lacking willpower, but because your hormones are shifting in ways you can't control. Understanding the why behind these feelings lets you be more compassionate with yourself and seek the right support. Whether it's talking to a friend, seeking therapy, or exploring lifestyle changes, knowledge is empowering. Emotional volatility is a direct message from your ovaries. Progesterone production is becoming less reliable. This is your body's way of alerting you to a new phase of life, one that requires a different approach to self-care and support. The anxiety makes sleep worse, and poor sleep makes anxiety worse. A tough cycle, but knowing the cause is the first step. Sleep disturbances are common, and they can amplify emotional symptoms, making it even harder to cope. If your emotional resilience has nosedived, especially before your period, it's a classic early sign of perimenopause. Recognizing this pattern is the key to taking back control, finding the right support, and remembering that you're not alone on this journey. The third sign, changes to your menstrual cycle, the period plot twist. For many women, this is the moment when the story of perimenopause really starts to unfold. It's not just about missing a period or two, it's about your body rewriting the script you've followed for years. Suddenly, the familiar rhythm of your cycle is replaced by unpredictability, and it can feel like your body is playing tricks on you. Early perimenopause doesn't mean your period stops. It means your cycle gets unpredictable. You might find yourself wondering, didn't I just have my period? Or, why is it back so soon? The regularity you once counted on starts to slip away, and every month can bring a new surprise. The first change is often shorter cycles. Your period comes more frequently, sometimes every 24-26 days. This can be confusing and even a little alarming, especially if you've always had clockwork cycles. It's like your body is hitting the fast-forward button, and you're left scrambling to keep up. This happens because your ovaries respond less to hormonal signals, so your body speeds up the process. The communication between your brain and your ovaries gets a little fuzzy, and as a result, your cycle can become erratic. It's not your fault, and it's not something you can control. It's simply biology in action. Heavier periods are common too. Estrogen builds up the uterine lining, but without enough progesterone to stabilize it, you shed more, leading to heavier bleeding. You might notice your flow is much heavier than before, or that you're changing pads or tampons more often. This can be inconvenient, uncomfortable, and even a little scary if you're not expecting it. You might bleed through pads or tampons, or your period might last longer. Some women find themselves dealing with periods that stretch on for a week or more, or that seem to stop and start unpredictably. It's not just a nuisance. It can disrupt your daily life, your sleep, and your confidence. Very heavy bleeding can cause anemia, so don't ignore it. If you're feeling unusually tired, weak, or short of breath, it's important to talk to your doctor. Heavy periods aren't just an inconvenience, they can have real effects on your health and well-being. After a phase of short cycles, you might skip a period, and an ovulatory cycle, where no egg is released and no progesterone is made. This can be confusing, especially if you're not expecting it. You might wonder if you're pregnant or if something is wrong. But in perimenopause, skipped periods are just another part of the journey. The key word is fluctuation. Cycles get shorter, heavier, then you might skip one, then back to normal, then heavy again. It's a roller coaster, and it can be hard to know what to expect from month to month. But this unpredictability is actually a sign that your body is transitioning, not malfunctioning. This irregularity is the hallmark of perimenopause. It's the body's way of signaling that change is underway. While it can be unsettling, it's also completely normal. You're not alone. Millions of women experience these same changes. Many expect menopause to mean periods just fade away, but the reality is more chaotic. Instead of a gentle exit, your periods might go out with a bang. Erratic, heavy, and unpredictable. It's not what most of us were taught to expect, and that can make it even more confusing. Track your cycles, note length, flow, and symptoms. Use a calendar, an app, or a simple notebook. Write down when your period starts and ends, how heavy it is, and any other symptoms you notice, like cramps, mood changes, or fatigue. This information is more valuable than you might think. This data is invaluable for your doctor. It helps them see patterns, rule out other causes, and give you the best advice for managing your symptoms. The more details you can provide, the better equipped your healthcare provider will be to help you navigate this transition. Instead of saying, "My periods are weird," you can give concrete info. "My cycles have shortened, and my flow is heavier." This kind of detail can make a big difference in getting the right support and care. It also helps you feel more in control, even when your body feels unpredictable. These changes are your ovaries communicating in the clearest language they have. They're letting you know that your reproductive years are winding down, and that a new phase of life is beginning. It's a message written in cycles, flow, and symptoms. Combined with sleep disruption and new anxiety, these three signs form the classic triad of early perimenopause. If you're noticing all three, it's a strong signal that your body is entering this new chapter. You're not imagining things, and you're not alone. Recognizing these plot twists for what they are, predictable signs of a normal transition, removes fear and confusion. When you know what's happening, you can approach these changes with curiosity instead of dread. Knowledge is power, and understanding your body's signals is the first step to feeling empowered. It lets you understand your body's new rhythm, even if it's chaotic for a while. You can adapt, make informed choices, and find new ways to support your health and well-being. Embracing these changes can even lead to a deeper connection with your body. Don't dismiss these changes. They're headline news from your hormones. Share your experiences with friends, family, or support groups. The more we talk about perimenopause, the less mysterious and isolating it becomes. Understanding them is the first step to taking charge. By listening to your body, tracking your symptoms, and seeking support, you can navigate perimenopause with confidence and clarity. This is your story. Embrace the plot twists, and know that you have the tools to write the next chapter. When my doctor finally connected the dots, the 3 a.m. waking, anxiety, shorter cycles, I felt relief. I wasn't broken. My body was entering a new chapter. It was biology, not a personal failing. Naming perimenopause took away the fear and gave me purpose. Perimenopause isn't an illness. It's a developmental stage, like puberty, a second puberty. You don't have to just grit your teeth and bear it. You can work with your body, not against it. Now that you know the signs, the next step is learning how to respond. Subscribe for next week's episode, where I'll reveal the single most powerful nutrient for this transition. You have the power to make this a journey of empowerment, not suffering. See you next week.